Hello everyone, so I'm finally back again. I know it's been a really long time. I haven't seen you guys since I've got my braces off. It's been a while. Last time that you guys heard from me was right before I was going in to get my impressions for my retainer. So I went in to get my impressions as scheduled. I voiced my concern to him that there was one tooth in the back that was bothering me that I'd like to get fixed before I got my braces off. We looked at it and he pretty much told me that there was nothing wrong with that tooth, that tooth was perfectly fine, and he said that if anything they would fix a tooth behind that tooth. To fix it, it would probably take 6 months. I ultimately just decided against that. First and foremost, it wasn't the tooth that was bothering me in the first place. Secondly, to me 6 months wasn't worth fixing one tooth that only I would know about anyway. Really, I just didn't want to do it because that wasn't the tooth that I initially wanted to be changed or to be moved. So I decided against that. So we went ahead with my impressions. I got the impressions very similar to the impressions that you get for your braces. So yeah, that was that. I got my impressions and I came back in 3 weeks to get my braces removed and to get my retainer. The braces removal process was not bad at all. It literally took like 5 minutes. It took about 2 minutes to actually pop the brackets off, and it does not hurt at all. It takes about 3 minutes to file the glue off, and that didn't hurt either. I didn't really think that it was awkward like some people say. The feeling didn't feel any type of way. I don't know how to explain it, but it didn't hurt. That was that. I got my braces off and I got my retainer. They did have to make some changes because the bottom one hurt really bad. They told me that I have an extra bone in the bottom of my mouth. All he did was he took the bottom retainer to the back and he just filed it down with something, came back and tried it on, and it felt fine. I went on my way, my merry little way, except it wasn't so merry. The following day, I noticed that I was getting some spaces. I called them immediately and they got me in the next day to look at it, and he was just saying that, you know, you never know, the spaces might close, let's just give it some time. We'll come back in a month and we'll see whether or not they're closed. But I told him how I thought the spaces were being caused, and he pretty much tightened the retainer, which I didn't understand. This was my first retainer. This is the top. It's just a regular Holley retainer. And pretty much I told him I thought that this wire and this wire were digging in between my teeth, therefore causing spaces. And he just like tightened it up, and I'm like, what are you doing? I just said that I think that's causing space. Anyway, he tightened it up. And oh, here's the bottom. Very simple. And this one goes in like this. I told him that I thought that these were causing spaces. He tightened it up. He sent me home, pretty much. He said, oh, let's just see what it does in a month and we'll go from there. So I come back in a month, and of course nothing had changed because, like I assumed in the first place, those wires were causing me to have spaces. And mind you, when I get there, he looks at my teeth. He's saying like, oh, you look good to go. We can schedule your next appointment to come back in 6 months just to make sure that everything's going well. I'm telling him like, I think these wires are causing spaces in between my teeth. He was like, well, you know, some teeth just sometimes move slower than others and all this other stuff. But I'm just like, okay, but don't you think that if these wires are what's causing the spaces to form, if I have to wear the retainers, the spaces aren't going to be able to close? I told him that I don't think that this is an effective product. I think it's an ineffective product. I don't feel like it's doing any good. He pretty much finally said, okay, we'll order you a new retainer, and the new retainer was called a wraparound or a circumferential retainer or something like that. I got my impressions for that day. Yeah, he pretty much said like, I'm not guaranteeing that these will help close your spaces either, but you know, we can try it out. And I'm like, yeah, let's just try, you know, you never know until you try. And mind you, those 2 spaces weren't the only ones I had. After I got my braces off, I had 5 spaces. Aren't braces supposed to close your spaces and straighten your teeth? That's what I thought. I had 2 here, 1, 2. I had one down here from 2 metal bands that I had. I had one here randomly. I don't know. And then I had one up here from a band that I got. But this one closed within the first couple of weeks, and I feel like that's because I only had that band on for about 2 months. If you go back and watch some of my old videos, one of my brackets popped out, so I put a band there, but I only had that on for 1 or 2 months. So he finally decided that he would order me a new retainer, and he was telling me like it's very, very fragile and delicate, so you have to be careful, and if you break it, you're going to have to pay for it. This one will be on me, but if you ever need another one, you're just going to have to pay for it yourself. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, let's try it out. I got my new retainer. This is what it looks like. No, it's not slaughter, I just washed it. So this is the retainer. As you can see, the wire goes all the way around. This is the bottom, and then this is the top, and it goes all the way around as well. So as you can see, compared to the other one, there are no clasps that clasp onto your tooth, so therefore there's no digging in between the teeth. It's been working. I have to say it's been working. I went back for my monthly update with this retainer. He tightened it up since it had been working. Now I only wear it at night. When I floss now, there's give in between all of my teeth, so that's a plus. Because before when I floss, like sometimes it just go in and out. And like there was no give. Sorry it took so long, but if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave me a message or comment down below. Lastly, I just want to share with you guys something that I've been working on, and it's these pocketed crew neck sweatshirts. I have one on right now. I'm sorry you couldn't see it in the video, but it doesn't match anyway, so. If you want to check them out, my website is careeses.com. That's CAREESES.com. Feel free to share with your friends or family or whoever. I'm going to show you one other one that I have made here right now. This is the most popular pocket design, but like I said, there are a lot of other options on the website. So yeah, go check it out. Thanks for watching.